Hi there, it's Sharon, and thanks so much for joining me in my studio today. Today I'm playing with some graphics products. I'm playing with the Mixed Media Journal, which I've played with before. And if I haven't talked about this journal with you, this has 6 different surfaces in it. It has clear Dura-Lar, matte Dura-Lar, which I've played with before in a different video, some wet media Dura-Lar, opaque white, opaque black, and of course the chipboard covers. So I've done 1 page of my journal so far, and I did that in a prior video, and I did that on the matte Dura-Lar. And today I'm going to continue on, and this is the one that I did with the matte Dura-Lar. But today I'm going to continue on and make a different page in the journal. And this time I'm going to be trying out this black Dura-Bright. This is a plastic surface. And I'm going to be pairing it with this rainbow film. So this is a rainbow film that you can run through an inkjet printer. It's adhesive back. And I am going to use some digital files from Ali Edwards and print some words on my printer. So here's my digital file. I just ran it through my printer. Do a test first with a piece of paper to make sure if your paper goes up or down when you run it through the printer. And I did fill mine up with lots of words. And this is what the paper looks like now that I printed some things on it. And while I was printing it out, since I do have to run this through the printer, I just decided to fill up the entire page. So I can use these for other journals or on card projects or, whatever I want. I can cut these out. Like I said, these are adhesive back, so it'd be fun just to use them as a sticker as well. But for this particular one, I think I'm going to use a circle die. So I have these dies from Hero Arts. They're just a whole bunch of different circles, and I'm going to use to cut them out. And before I cut it, I think I'm going to just trim out the one that I want and put it on a piece of cardstock so it's just a little thicker and use it as a big embellishment in my journal. And then I think on this black Dura-Bright plastic, I'm going to use some Dina Wakley media glosses. So they look like this, and we'll get to that part in just a minute. So I want to make my sticker a little bit thicker. This paper, it's kind of thin. It'd be great just for a sticker to put down on a flat surface, but I'm going to pop mine up. So I could have either just cut around the word, which would probably look super cool, but I think I want to make it just a big circle. So I'm going to just cut this out, and then I'm going to stick it to a piece of cardstock. So I think right about here is where I want to cut it. So I'll just trim this out. So this paper is adhesive back, so I'm going to just pull the backing off, and I'm going to stick it to a piece of cardstock. So just as close to the bottom as I can, trying not to get any wrinkles in there when I place it on. It looks pretty smooth. And then I'm going to place my circle die just where I think I want it to cut. So that should cover all of the rainbow. And just so it doesn't move when I'm putting it through my machine, I'm going to put some tape, but I'm being careful just to put the tape on the outside of the die, not on my sticker paper, so it doesn't get all gummed up. So I'll just be very careful and put some pieces of tape down just so it doesn't move when I'm running it through the machine. So I'll take it over and run it through my die cut machine quickly. And once I do that, that is what it's going to look like. So now I have this big kind of cool piece to put on our journal page. And I think it's really going to pop with the black. And I know it has all the colors of the rainbow in it, but for my background today, I think I'm going to just go with 3 colors. And this is the Dina Wakley Media Gloss. So this is a glossy acrylic medium. And I'll be using Sunshine, Taffy, and Papaya. So I'm going to move this embellishment out of the way just so we don't get anything on it. When you use these media glosses, they have a dropper, and you just want to make sure that you shake well before you use them. So I'm going to shake them all up. And I could apply them kind of directly to the paper, but I'm going to use the stencil to kind of give me just a little bit of an outline. I'm going to go right off the paper here. And I know that this is a glossy medium and some of it will seep under the stencil, but I'm okay with that. I'm kind of using it just to give me that, circular type shape. So it looks like I have some leftover paint there. So this will probably cover up everything in the middle, so I don't even really need to fill that in. Just want to fill in everything on the outside, so from these sections on. So I'll go ahead, I'm going to start just by shaking them up, just dropping in a little bit of yellow. And I'm not even squeezing the dropper, I'm just kind of using it to paint in the shapes here. And it'll start moving on its own as well. But just giving it like a drop or two, and you can see it is starting to seep under the stencil in some areas, but I'm totally okay with that. It's going to have just a messy look, but it still will have a little bit of circular structure just by using this stencil. So we have the yellow down. I'm going to go in with this papaya color and just do the same thing. Kind of get some of that gloss. I'll keep the papaya in these sections where I just have the one kind of well to the bottom so I can add the last color, the taffy color in. And then I'm going to go ahead and just make sure this is shaken up and do the same thing with the taffy color. So just drop it in. Oops. And again, I can see that it is seeping here and there, but we'll see what it looks like when we pull it up. Just make sure I filled in all of the spots on the outside, just a little bit more here. And I'm just kind of dotting it on. You can also use just a small paintbrush to go ahead and spread some of the color around. So I might do that. Just kind of make sure it like fills in all the parts of the stencil. You can wipe it off if you want in between colors. I'm just going to move into the next and spread it out. And then what I'm going to do now is just step away from it. I'm going to bring a little bit of this orange in here just to blend it. Just a tiny bit. But now I will step away from it and I'm going to let it completely dry before I move the stencil up. You can see it's definitely under the stencil, but hopefully when we pull it up, we'll get some light and dark areas and some of that black will show through. So again, I'm just going to step away and I'll come back when it's done and we'll add the embellishment and put the page together. So now that my page is dry, you can see we did get some of the um, paint dripping underneath or the gloss dripping underneath the stencil, but it has a really cool look. It kind of looks like cells to me, and they're very plain. So I wanted to go ahead and just add a little bit more of the yellow on the outside. So I'm going to just take the dropper and still make sure your gloss is shaken up well. And then I'm going to just use a paintbrush to add a little yellow splatter to the outside. You can add some of the other colors too. It might look nice if we maybe add in just a little more of this taffy color. So I might do the same thing with that. And just a little bit of the papaya. And just remember, we're really not going to see anything that's in there when we put our sentiment on. The only other thing with this is I'm going to go ahead again and let it dry by itself. We are using acrylic paint, so it does have plastic in it, so I don't really want to use a heat tool on it. I'm just going to go ahead and set it aside, and then we'll come back and put it all together. So now that my speckles are dry, I'm just going to go ahead and add the embellishment. Just putting it on just a piece of wax paper since I have a lot of stuff on my workspace here, and I'm using these really thin, these are Simon Says Stamp, but they're really thin foam squares, and they're a lot thinner than foam tape, and I'm using these because I don't want too much bulk in my journal. I also have some other pages that have some elements that stand out, so I'm just going to apply these on to my piece. And then I'll go ahead and just add this to the center of my page. And I think the rainbow in here just brings out all of the color, and that's the finished page. It's super easy. I hope you enjoyed making it with me, and be sure to check out the Graphics Arts YouTube channel and graphicsart.com for other videos and information on these products. Thanks so much for watching.